When we first moved into this house in 2002, home heating oil was under $1 a gallon. By 2008, it was almost $4. And Maryland winters can get pretty cold and snowy. It got to the point where we didn't even want to turn it on.
We decided to look into a geothermal heat pump. We wanted to get rid of our old oil heater. We wanted to make a smaller carbon footprint, but boy, finding information on exactly what to expect was almost impossible. I went to YouTube, I found almost nothing. So here we are, sharing our experience.
So this is our old unit. It was a pretty interesting oil heater. Half of it burned oil, the other half, in theory, would burn wood. It didn't really work out all that well because the house would get all smoky every time you opened the door to add more wood. And the old heater had a really large oil tank that was located inside the house, in the basement, with copper tubing running the oil all the way across the floor from the tank to the furnace. And this is our old air conditioning unit, which was over 20 years old and really needed replacement. So we had to decide, keep the furnace and just replace the air conditioning or replace everything.
We decided to replace everything and started our search. First, we needed to find a company. There were several to choose from, but you're dependent upon which salesperson responds to your calls, and this makes a huge difference. The company might be good, the price competitive, but if nobody calls you back, it doesn't matter. And comparing the prices is a little harder than you think, because with geothermal you need to drill a well. If the drilling price is included in one company's quote but not another company, then you need to call drilling companies and compare their prices. Add that price to the price of your unit and then compare the two companies. We took all those steps. We picked who we will now call Company X. We met with our salesman in the beginning of 2013. We were quoted a pre-tax rebate total of $24,643, and we were told lots of things. We can have your unit in and running in 5 days. Our system was going to put out 110-degree air. Well, the following is this family's experience with geothermal, the good, the bad, and the ugly. On March 7, 2013, we faxed our signed contract to Company X along with our initial deposit. By March 15th, I could see the check was cashed, but we had not heard from Company X. I emailed and they said, "I have your equipment, we're going to deliver it next week." Not sure why they said that, because the contract clearly states the well is dug prior to the delivery of equipment. And prior to drilling the well, you have to have permits pulled, you have to have a well drilling company lined up, and all this takes time. The delivery of the equipment happens after the drilling.
On April 18 and 19, our well was finally dug, and you can see this was quite an event. Be prepared for your yard to be torn up. If your lawn matters to you, then you need to commit to fixing it after the well's dug. And this can cost quite a lot of money if you're not prepared to do it yourself, because fixing the lawn is not included in the price. They did a pretty good job of replacing the dirt fairly evenly, but the entire area was a mess.
May 6th, our unit is delivered, and on the 14th, our installation was complete. However, before you can use it, it has to be inspected. The inspection took place 10 days later, on May 24, and we failed. Not a big deal. Some wire needed updating or changing because I think the regulations changed. At least that's what Company X said. Here's part of the finished product. It's coming from the outside down the wall. We turned this area into a closet, which is where the old oil tank was. Here's something you need to be careful of. When you take this off, all around the edges, they did not put any kind of insulation in it, and 55-degree air comes pouring through. Here's an example of how much 55-degree air is coming through the hole in the wall. See how that blew out right away, and you can see the smoke go by? So I put some spray stuff I got at the Home Depot for $4. It worked beautifully. Now I'll bring you to the unit on the inside. Traveling from the pipes we just saw, they come across the basement, they come down over here. This is inside of the house. Pipes that go to the unit, which is smaller, cleaner than our old oil unit. Goes up. There, it feeds the heat to the house. And this is it. There isn't anything else. There's not inside unit, outside unit. This is the entire thing. On July 3rd, our unit passed inspection. From original signed contract to completion of job was a total of about 4 months. On July 6th, we made our final payment, and I deducted a few dollars for some small damage that the guys did during installation.
The company prepared the documents necessary for our tax rebate. That's nice. Not all companies will do that. We were never totally convinced we'd actually get those promised rebates. Thought for sure that at some point we'd get a letter saying, sorry, but things have changed. But as promised, on February 1st, 2014, we received a $3,000 rebate check from the state of Maryland. Our 2013 taxes did, in fact, reflect the 30% federal tax credit. And we got $500 from our utility company, and that check took the longest.
We've now used our system since July 2013. We've seen 2 full seasons of utility bills. A direct cost comparison of before and after geothermal isn't really possible because we used to have 2 bills, one for oil and one for electricity. Now we're totally electric, so that bill of course went up. But our utility bills are down, even factoring in the fluctuation of a price of a gallon of home heating oil. Our air conditioning costs went way down because we moved from an old inefficient unit to the geothermal electric. So our winter electric bill is now about $150 a month. Our 5-day installation did take about 4 months, and the 110-degree air is only 110 degrees if the system is on auxiliary heat, and you want to avoid auxiliary heat because that's expensive. But I've had traditional heat pumps in the past and the air was miserably cold, and this system is much better. The air coming out of the register is about 86 to 90 degrees, which feels fine. I like that the air is clean. I like that I don't have 175 gallons of oil in a tank in my house, that the unit is smaller. I was able to get rid of my old air conditioning unit, which was loud and terribly inefficient and took up some little piece of precious real estate in the backyard. I miss that blast of hot air that the old oil system would put out. I miss being able to warm up a cold house quickly. With this system, you want to heat the house up slowly to avoid auxiliary heat. Another thing I don't care for is, but it doesn't bother my husband at all, is that in the winter, in the cold, the unit runs almost all the time. It's quiet and all, but I can still hear it. And as it's a compressor unit running, the air gets really dry. Great in our humid summers, but too dry in the winter. We made a big mistake by not getting the accompanying humidifier. I love using it for air conditioning. It cools the house off right away, and then I close up the house and turn it off. It's so much less expensive than my old one. This is one family's experience with geothermal heat. I hope it helps.